I'm Simon Perry. I run the security workshop here at Zybus. What we're going to do now is run quickly through one of the attacks we do within the workshop. We're not going to go into quite as much depth as we do in the workshop itself. In the workshop we spend a lot of time making sure you really understand what we're talking about.
Okay, so this is the website we use in our security seminar, and the specific problem we're going to look at is a SQL injection one in the news area. This is the news article area, so you've got all the categories here. If I click on investor news, it shows me the investor news articles, and you click on product news, it shows me the product news articles. And the way that it does that is with this category ID here. So if you're looking at category 2, that's product news, product 3, that's industry news. But there's a problem here because this actually allows SQL injection, so it's adding that number to the end of a database query, and I can tell that because I can put at the end or 1 equals 1 and resubmit it, and it gets me all of the news items in category 3 or where 1 equals 1. Of course 1 equals 1 all the time, so it returns none. If I change it to something like and 1 equals 0, it won't find any categories. So I know that there's definitely a problem with SQL injection. So what I've done is I've put this simple form together, and this form really allows me to just put something in this box and it'll add it nicely to the end of the query here. It saves me a lot of trouble. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a union all query or union all clause, and what union all does is it allows me to add two queries together, so I can add another query to the end of this and it should show the results together. And just for, at the start I'm going to just say select null. Now this won't work, and the reason it won't work, and I've got an error message here, is because the number of fields returned in the first query that I can't manipulate are different to the number in the next query which I can. So I just need to keep increasing the number of fields I've requested until I don't get an error. And you notice it still says error up here, so I know I'm not there yet. That's 5, there's the 6th one, and you see now it starts to work. You'll notice on this page there's an additional more here, and this more comes from that additional row I added to the query, but there's no title, and there's no title because I'm just asking for a blank title. But if I put hello in here, for instance, it will show that here in the title, so I know it's definitely getting information back from the database, but at the moment not useful information. So now I'm going to actually ask for data from a specific table, and the table I'm going to ask for is the sysobjects table. This is a useful table because it gives me a list of all the tables in the system, and I'm going to add this clause where x type equals u, because that just limits the tables it returns to the actual tables that the developers added rather than the system tables. And instead of getting hello, I'm going to say name. And now I've got a list of all of the tables in the database. There's a very interesting one called TBL users here. Now to get what columns are in that table, I need to know its ID, so that's quite easy to find out. Submit that, and I've got all the IDs of the tables. There's the ID of the users table. Now I can just ask for the columns. And here they are. The two that are going to interest me are obviously the usernames and all the passwords. So I can just very, very quickly now get the information from table users. I want the username, and I want to put a little break in. And here we've got all the usernames and passwords coming down the screen, so now I can use that to log into the admin area, and I'm in. And I've got complete access and control as any administrator would have over his own data.
Well, that's the end of the attack. As I said before, in the actual workshop we go into a lot more detail. We also do a further 6 attacks. A lot of them take a lot less time than this one. And so hopefully this has inspired you enough to come to one of our events. We'll see you there.